The Boryeong Mud Festival opens its doors today until the first week of August, offering grown-ups and children alike the chance to indulge in a wide variety of mud play ranging from mud pits, mud slides and even music by the muddy sunset. So how did the Boryeong Mud Festival begin? What are some of the highlights this year? And do such festivities tangibly boost rural tourism? Welcome to Issues and Insiders. Today, we tell you how playing in the mud is worth the mess, especially in Boryeong, starting today. For more on this, I have Professor Shin Hak-seung at Hanyang University live on the line. Professor Shin, it's good to have you with us.
It's good to join again. Thank you.
I also have Kwon Soa with us. Soa, welcome back.
Hello, Sunny. Happy Friday.
Right, happy Friday. Soa, let's begin then with details about this year's Boryeong Mud Festival.
Yes, Sunny, it is that time of the year where hundreds of thousands of people across the country and from all places around the world gather at Boryeong's Daecheon Beach to get dirty or muddy. Boryeong is a city in Chungcheongnam-do province in central Korea, and Daecheon Beach is one of the most popular beaches on South Korea's western coast. So the annual Boryeong Mud Festival this year, which is the 26th of its kind, has kicked off today, Friday, and runs until August 6th, so for 17 days. And that's a week longer than past Boryeong Mud Festivals. Not only that, more areas will be used for festivities than in the past, and also the diverse experience programs have been expanded from 40 to 60. So it's expected to be a festival like no other after the long pandemic and an increase in tourists. Now, I have to mention, though, it's not the first time being held after COVID-19 because it was resumed last year, and also in 2021, it was an on and offline event with most of the big major events cancelled. So given its popularity, booking is a must. And the prices depend on whether it's a work day or weekend that you go, and also depending on the age, but it's pretty affordable. So what do you do at the festival? You bathe in the massive amounts of mud Boryeong has to offer. You receive mud massages, play with the mud in all kinds of ways, throw it, smear it all over your body and face. And it also kind of reminds the world's people of the La Tomatina festival in Spain. Now, for families with young children, there are also kids zones and even extra venues for pets. Mud-based cosmetic products can also be purchased at discounted prices during the festival period. After all, Boryeong is famous for its mud cosmetics. We'll get into that later in a bit again. Now, after enjoying daytime in the hot weather and cool mud, in the evening hours, numerous performances ignite the nights at the beach. The nightly mud mob dance, or mud DM, which involves EDM performances, are said to be held every day, as well as busking performances. And you may want to keep these dates in mind, which I'm going to show you now. Here we see some special festivals and concerts coming up. So first we have on July 22nd, that's tomorrow, Saturday, there's the World K-Pop Festival. So it's kind of the opening stage for the Boryeong Mud Festival with 15 K-pop teams, including A-Pink, Itaewon, BI, and more. And then on July 23rd, also on August 1st, there's the Mud Big Concert, again with lots of performances, including band performances. July 29th, there's the GS25 Music and Beer Festival coming up, where you can enjoy music with fresh beer and foods. Also on July 29th, the Summer Swag Concert, and that involves Psy, famous world star Psy, and it's in Korean, it's also known as the so-called Humpok Show, which involves lots of water and Psy's powerful, energetic performances. August 4th and 5th, you can also see the Mud Nightstand and World DJ Festival, which is also going to be very big performances. Also the World DJ Festival Festival, as the name says, it does not only involve local DJs, but also global DJs as well. So those are some of the major K-pop and other festivals that are coming up. And the World K-pop Festival, meanwhile, on Saturday, tomorrow, will be free of charge. Now, earlier this week, the city had announced that it will be free for all Boryong citizens so that they can enjoy it without being burdened, and especially following the heavy rains recently. But then yesterday, reports said it's free for everyone, so all visitors. So it's going to be pretty much packed there, and those who already bought tickets will get a refund for this specific concert. Speaking of heavy rains and monsoon, the Black Eagles Air Show, South Korea's Air Force aerobatic flight team, has been inevitably cancelled due to flood recovery.
Right, I see. Meanwhile, Professor Shin, what led to the launch of the Boryeong Mud Festival, and how popular has this festival been thus far?
Yes, Boryeong, where the Mud Festival takes place, was previously ignored by tourists in the early 1990s due to its high prices and unclean water. Consequently, the local economy also suffered difficulties, and the local government had to find ways to revitalize the local economy. Particularly the mud, which is the major natural resource in the area, was utilized to develop mud pack cosmetics, and the Festival about Mud was planned to attract tourists. In 1998, the Mud Festival began, and it became popular among tourists. As a result, the festival received active support from the center and the local government, and has become a representative festival of South Korea. Before the COVID-19 period, the number of participants in the festival had increased nearly 20 times, and out of the approximately 2 million tourists, about 20% were foreigners, making the Boryeong Mud Festival a global festival representing Korea. There are some reasons for the global success of this festival, but in my opinion, the festival where participants can enjoy various mud-related games and missions has been appealing to foreign tourists who value experiential programs. In addition, the combination of unique experiences, cultural immersion, and the element of fun makes the Mud Festival an attractive attraction for foreign tourists seeking something different and memorable during their travels.
Right, and it's also fun for adults and children alike, right? Now, so do tell us a bit more about the more popular attractions at the Boryeong Mud Festival.
Well, I haven't been there myself, Sunny. However, I know that the giant mud bath, for one, is a very popular attraction. That's a huge tub filled with mud, of course, where you can get drenched in the mud. And the giant slide is also very popular. Again, as the name says, it's a giant slide where you slide into the mud. Also, mud body painting is one of the famous attractions there. If you're also into fun activities and competitions, you can take part in mud wrestling, tail catching games, and mud challenges. Mud challenge, for instance, I think maybe it was in last year's festival, I saw how people were trying to find objects inside the mud, for instance, paduk, they were looking for paduk stones. And there's also a mud prison, and that is for people who have not gotten dirty enough or messy enough with mud. They are put into the mud prison. So that are some of the famous attractions you can enjoy there.
Right, I see. Professor Shin, what would you say is the impact of such festivals on perhaps boosting rural tourism?
Yeah, I would say in regional development, tourism development is one of the most crucial aspects. Festivals in particular are evaluated as a highly important tourism development approach because they can attract tourists while minimizing physical development and maximizing the utilization of local resources. Especially for rural areas, tourism industry and the local festivals play a significant role in revitalizing the local economy. As we know, rural areas face challenges associated with insufficient infrastructure and the absence of industrial facilities. Consequently, they are now experiencing a rapid decline in the working population. So to stimulate the local economy, it is essential to attract tourists to encourage their local consumption. In addition, promoting local festivals can encourage local residents to participate in festival programs, which can also strengthen the community and the local brand identity. Lastly, according to a recent research, the quality of life for the local residents can be improved through festival participation. The direct engagement and participation in local festivals allow local residents to build a sense of community, which serves as a foundation for the success of festivals and becomes a significant social cultural asset for the region. So successful local festivals can bring not only economic effect, but also significant social cultural benefits.
Right, and that being said, Professor Shin, what then are the possible merits for foreign visitors who choose to partake in these regional cultural festivities?
First of all, we need to acknowledge that about 80% of foreign tourists in Korea concentrate their visits in Seoul, Busan, and Jeju Island. In fact, they hardly visit other areas. Among various regions, I would highlight three main factors contributing to this issue, such as inadequate promotion of local tourist attractions, limited accessibility to local areas, and language barriers, which are particularly critical in local areas. However, I would like to emphasize that each region in Korea possesses unique culture and attractions with interesting tourism programs. By visiting regions with diverse cultural resources like this, foreign tourists can experience the various charms of Korea. One of the major local tourism attractions is local festival, and local tourists can have the opportunity to experience local culture by attending local festivals. They can also explore other tourist destinations while visiting local festivals, and once they have local travel experience, they can revisit the local areas in the future. In this regard, it's crucial to integrate festivals with regional attractions and create tourism packages for foreign tourists. This approach can help attract more foreign tourists to regions outside the major cities, which will contribute to the overall development of regional tourism in Korea.
Right, and hence Boryeong is promoting its mud, right? So what are some of the merits of partaking in the mud festival in Boryeong Soa?
Well, Sunny, without doing any research, I would have to say the fun factor is the biggest merit. But different from other summer festivals, this one really has a plus when it comes to health benefits. Now, as Professor Shin briefly explained to us before, this Boryeong Mud Festival was born from marketing Boryeong Mud Cosmetics. And the festivities in the mud may look dirty at first glance, but the Boryeong mud is famous for its pure cosmetics high in minerals. So according to the festival's organizers, the mud includes germanium and bentonite, and it emits significant amounts of far-infrared radiation, all of that having beauty and health benefits for the skin. What you can feel immediately is that the mud softens your skin, but what it also does is it helps in blood circulation, detoxifies, and balances pH levels. And it's even said to be used for trauma therapy. It's not any mud, though, that you can smear on your face and hope for those effects. The simple definition of mud would be wet soil, but it matters how it is formed and what gets in there while it is formed. So soils, salts, breakdown products of marine life, all of that undergoes long periods of geological, chemical, and microbial disintegration processes. So that's what you can all find in the Boryeong mud. And the hundreds of tons of mud, meanwhile, that are used in the festival are taken directly from the Boryeong mud flats and trucked to the Daecheon beach area. So you have the fresh benefits right from the mud flats throughout the festival event. And Sonia, another merit I would have to mention is getting rid of stress. So if people had stress over the first half of the year and want to get rid of that during their summer vacation, I think the Boryeong Mud Festival would be a perfect solution.
I would love to go, so. But meanwhile, Professor Shin, on a more sober note, there have been reports of overpricing at food stalls at quite a number of festivals nationwide in recent days. First, what do you believe are some of the reasons behind this unfortunate reality?
Yes, it is important to note that the issue of overcharging in local tourist attractions, including local festivals, is not unique to Korea. Actually, it is a frequent problem in major tourist destinations in the world. The overpricing issue is rooted in the seasonal nature of the tourism industry's structure. This means that many tourism businesses strive to maximize profit during peak seasons, as they need to generate sufficient revenue to sustain their operations. As we see, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, this phenomenon has intensified. After a period of stagnation during the pandemic, tourism businesses are now focusing on increasing their sales. As a result, there has been an increase in cases where products and services are sold at higher prices than usual in tourist destinations and festival sites. In addition, the problem of overcharging can be worsened by migrant vendors. Migrant vendors are individuals operating booths or food trucks while moving between local festivals or regional tourist spots. In most cases, they face relatively high rental fees for short event periods. In this situation, to maximize their profits, they tend to set higher prices for their goods and services. So the issue of overpricing is influenced by several factors, including seasonality, the impact of COVID-19, and the presence of migrant vendors.
Right, indeed. And as Professor Shin has pointed out, so overpricing, overcharging, it's not a Korean phenomenon. It is a universal reality. That being said, how are organizers at the Boryeong Mud Festival so are seeking to ensure that overpricing does not occur?
Right. All over the world, people face the problem of overcharged prices when they travel, but it's also a local issue, for instance, when big festivals are held, just like the Boryeong Mud Festival here. Now, food in particular or accommodation prices can easily double depending on season and occasion. And ahead of the 26th Boryeong Mud Festival, earlier on July 10th, the Daecheon Tourism Association organized a so-called resolution meeting where some 80 tourism workers, including representatives of merchants at Daecheon Beach, a pension association, and fisheries merchants association participated, and also Mayor Kim Dong-il, the mayor of Boryeong City, was there as well. And they vowed to practice fair prices for quality services. And on that occasion, they also promised to increase customer satisfaction by really thinking from the perspective of tourists and visitors. And apart from their resolute stance, there will also be a special price management team in operation during the festivities, and an unfair price reporting center will be operating as well. But not only the vendors can actually be blamed for the high prices, as they also have to pay the price for the booths there as well. And also in many cases, these vendors have to pay local governments to participate in a specific event.
Right, of course. And that being said, Professor Shin, is there something more that the government can do to discourage overpricing at such events?
Yes, as mentioned earlier, the issue of overpricing is based on the structural characteristics of the tourism industry. That is the reason why it is difficult to completely eliminate overpricing in tourism. However, we can come up with several strategies to reduce overpricing cases in local festivals. In my view, there are two types of measures that both central and local government can implement, such as pre-measures and post-measures. Pre-measures involve policies to prevent overpricing in the first place. The government is currently conducting various campaigns and plans to strengthen monitoring by announcing prices of major product and food items at tourist destinations. Specifically, transparent criteria should be established for rental fees and commissions, and prices should be disclosed in advance through negotiations with participating tourism businesses. On the other hand, post measures are aimed at preventing recurrence of overcharging issues once they have already occurred. Examples include implementing a reporting system for festival participants and utilizing visitor complaint boards. In addition, the government conducts festival assessment every year, and incorporating the evaluation result of overcharging cases into the festival assessment can be considered as well. Most importantly, it is crucial to emphasize that overpricing in local festivals or tourist attractions does not contribute to the sustainable growth of regional tourism.
Right, a valid point right there, of course. And so before we continue further, could you very briefly give us a few examples about the overpricing in such events?
Well, one example is an entertainment show on a major broadcasting played a big role in bringing up the issue of overcharging recently because a group of celebrities were traveling and they were at a festival in Hanyang County, Gyeongsangbuk-do Province. There, a vendor was trying to sell them a bag of local traditional sweets for 70,000 won. That's almost $55 US. And after negotiations, they got free bags for 140,000 won. So after this, criticism aroused from viewers on how much vendors are ripping customers off. And then another example would be on Jeju-do Island. Cutlass fish course meal there can cost up to 140,000 won per table. And in many cases, what's expensive is at places where you have no other option. For instance, one experience that I had was I was at an outdoor music festival and you couldn't go somewhere else to get food. So you have to get you don't have any alternatives. So I had to get a small beef of platter for 40,000 won. That's more than $31 US. So that's from my own experience.
Right, I see. And Professor Shin, there is concern, therefore, that such cases of overpricing as well as overcrowding itself at some events may force Koreans to look abroad in search of leisure and pleasure rather than stay here in the country. What are your thoughts, very briefly speaking?
During the COVID-19 pandemic, most people in Korea traveled in domestic destinations, and it is natural to expect an increase in demand for overseas destinations nowadays. However, there are some concerns about these issues, such as overpricing in local tourist attractions and inadequate management of visitor numbers, which can further strengthen this trend. In fact, in a recent survey, many domestic tourists experienced overcharging and service quality issues in local destinations. As a result, they responded that they are considering overseas destinations for their next vacation. Therefore, local destinations need to focus on stabilizing tourism prices and improving service quality. In addition, I believe that now is the right time to change the flow of local festivals in Korea, which have been mainly targeted at domestic visitors. Recently, there has been a growing interest in K-culture among foreigners, and the number of potential foreign tourists is increasing as well. With this in mind, it is the right moment to plan internationalized local tourism festivals that cater to both domestic and foreign visitors. By actively attracting foreign tourists and designing festivals that appeal to both local and international visitors, it might be possible to offset the potential decline in domestic tourism demand. It is time for Korean local festivals to strive for a balance between preserving their local identity while aiming for internationalization.
Right, indeed, Professor. All right, then that's all the time we have today. Professor Shin, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts today. And Soa here in the studio, thank you very much for your insights.
As always. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, well, for those of you who have yet to make weekend plans, a trip to Boryeong to partake in this year's Mud Festival may be a fun option. Have a good weekend.